To obtain artifacts, weapon essential materials, and character talent books, we need to first complete the various domains in Genshin Impact before we can use our resin to claim those rewards. As the amount and type of materials you can obtain are random, especially with the artifacts where there are so many different combinations, most of your time in Genshin will be spent to clear these domains. Sometimes, we spend so much time that it becomes a chore, but yet we know we have to do it to groom our characters to become the best that they can be. In today's video, I will be providing some tips on how you can clear the domains and hence your resin a lot quicker, thereby leaving you more time for other things in Genshin or just your own personal life. Before we begin the video, can I just say a huge thank you to everyone for helping us to reach 1.4k subscribers. It really felt like just yesterday when we just hit the first goal of 1000 subscribers. We are moving really well to the next goal of 10,000 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, do consider subscribing and join our wonderful family here and help us to reach the new goal of 10,000 subscribers. Without further ado, my name is ChargeCoin and let's begin the video. One thing that's quite annoying about the domains is that you'll first need to walk through half of the domain before you can reach the middle to activate the key to start it. As such, since you already need time to clear the domain, why not make your life easier by using taller characters, or characters who can traverse faster with their skill, such as the Wanderer or Sayu, to get to the middle as quickly as possible to start playing the domain. This will actually save you a lot of time and give you the time instead to clear the domain. Making condensed resin is so important. If you don't know what it is, condensed resin is basically 2 × 20 resin combined into 1. You can craft this at the crafting table and can store up to a maximum of 5 with no expiry date. This means that you can technically save your resin to use when you aren't free, thereby preventing your resin from reaching the maximum cap and allowing it to refresh. As this is a domain related video, it also means that instead of claiming the rewards using 20 resin, you can use double the resin to get double the rewards, thereby saving you time and the number of times you need to clear the domain. As one of the components to make condensed resin is crystal flies, let me also show you some of the common crystal fly locations that I always go to for easy farming. You can also use Sayu and a passive so as not to alert the crystal flies to collect them a lot more easily. Before you enter the domain, it is usually recommended to take note of the challenge features and leyline disorders. This is to find out what kind of buffs that they provide and what kind of penalties that they give. However, I would say that you shouldn't 100% believe them, especially for the earlier domains. For example, in the domain to farm the Noblesse Oblige artifact, they recommend that you use Geo, and they even give you increased Geo damage. However, you'll be in fact going up with 3 Abyss Mages with different elemental shields. Geo will honestly be horrible for it. As such, in this case, it is preferable to use the right element for the right shield. For example, bring Dendro or Cryo for the Hydro shield, Hydro for the Pyro shield, and Pyro for the Cryo shield. Or you can also just bring Electro, which has moderate effect to all the shields. So, to know what you need to do, enter the domain, see what kinds of enemies are there, and plan your team accordingly. If you can use the recommended elements or buffs, that's good, but don't blindly follow them if you want to save time or make your life a lot easier. This next tip is a continuation of the previous one. As mentioned, in a lot of the domains, especially those from Mondstadt and Liyue, some really annoying ones that penalize you for using a particular element. For example, in the domain to farm the archive at Traset, it mentions that if you trigger Melt or Vaporize, your character will take damage. Why this is so annoying is because there will be Cryo Abyss mages, and to take down their shields quickly, Pyro is the best element, but you will cause the Melt reaction and cause you to take damage. You end up using the recommended Electro, which will take a lot more time. My solution is to just go for it. Just use Pyro, but bring a shielder or healer. The shielder can mitigate the damage from the penalty, while the healer can heal off that damage, so you can overall clear the domains a lot quicker. For my final tip is to play it solo. While I understand that Genshin is a multiplayer enabled game, I do recommend that you play it yourself, especially when clearing the domains. Why? Because Genshin's team mechanic is built around 4 characters. If you go into co-op, you'll lose that advantage and have to end up relying on other players to fill up that gap. For example, in my Hu Tao team, Zhongli will help to protect Hu Tao so that she can deal the damage. In co-op however, unless they have C2 Zhongli, only the player with Zhongli will have the shield enabled, meaning that Hu Tao will have no resistance to interruption and will possibly die a lot more easily since she needs to be on low health to function but cannot get a shield. What's more, in co-op, the enemies get an increased percentage of health depending on the number of players that are in the lobby. So, enemies in 2-player lobbies are harder than solo, enemies in 3 players are harder than 2, and so on. As such, if you go into domain solo, you can build your teams the way you want and ensure that your characters get the right support they need without being dependent on others. It of course will be tough at first, but you'll get better over time with practice. To conclude, I understand that nobody really likes farming domains, and it becomes frustrating and a chore due to the RNG. I hope that today's video will help you to hopefully get through the grind faster with only leaving the luck aspect to fate. If you found the video helpful, or just enjoyed the video in general, do consider leaving a like, comment or subscribe if you haven't, as I post regular Genshin Impact videos and we just passed 1000 subscribers. Come and join this wonderful family and watch the videos as they release. What's more, we also just created a new Charge Coin community Discord server where you can come relax, chat, get some Genshin or Honkai related help if needed. Do consider joining, the link is in the description below. Thank you and see you next time, bye bye!